Today, many of us like to think that we wake up with health care next door to us. But tomorrow, what happens when you don't? How many people have to think about that?
People think that in a rural area they can't get good care, but once that bond of trust is built, people will come. I first met Demitri on the day he was born, and I have been his pediatrician since that time.
He was having some symptoms that didn't make a lot of sense to me, like he would tell me that his legs hurt really bad. He was tired all the time. They would call me from school saying that he had his head laid down on the desk and he was tired and he didn't feel like doing his schoolwork, which is not common for him. I took him to a pediatrician in Hattiesburg because we lived in Hattiesburg, Mississippi at the time. He diagnosed him with sinusitis, put him on an antibiotic. He just looked really sick. He looked like he needed to go back to the doctor, but I didn't want to take him where he had already been.
6 months after they moved, Mom called me and said, I'm going to come see you.
But Dr. Selby knew almost immediately.
When Demitri walked in, he was not the Demitri I had seen. He had lost weight. He was very pale and downcast. He was very weak. So we did a CBC. He was severely anemic, very low white count, and his platelets were very low too. All of those kind of pointed towards leukemia as a diagnosis. She was in shock, but she was very accepting that, yes, I can trust this diagnosis, and yes, we need to get him to St. Jude's as soon as possible.
You feel lucky whenever you know that you have doctors around that you can trust and that you feel confident that no matter what's going on with your kids, they're gonna figure it out. I mean, I drove 6 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning and she figured it out.
Demitri would have had a very different outcome had he not come to my clinic on the day he came and been diagnosed. I think that's a lesson to be learned in every rural community. Just because you're small doesn't mean you can't have good quality care and bring good qualified physicians in to provide that care.
That pediatrician would not have been here had it not been for those resources. So we really want to try as hard as we can to find through the Tennessee Hospital Association and TCWD and any resources that we can, all avenues in the state of Tennessee to remain here. It takes somebody like TCWD to help us do that.
If we were not present and if Henry County Medical Center wasn't here to give us the support that we need with labs and x-rays, people would have to travel to get their medical care. That's a service we provide to the community. That's a vital service that means life or death to that patient.
I feel very lucky to have them near us. I see a big future for that little boy.
We care. We care about the service that we offer, and finding those providers is the first step. So reaching out to THA and TCWD, they always have the doors open. Don't wait for them to ask you. Call them, pick up the phone, and they're always willing to help. They're always willing to find an answer for you. Not only do they help me as an organization, but they help the provider as an individual. So very, very helpful. Very helpful. How much better can it get?